Hello, everyone. This is my first comma session on YouTube. I just purchased, I think, 1.5 months back, and yesterday was the first successful drive. It was amazing experience. Um, I had a few challenges, starting from buying, installing, and making it work. So I'll just share my experience. It's a kind of information to all users we're going to use, and also to the comma support. Comma.ai support. They're doing an amazing job. I think the system needs to be more geared for the support and providing documentations to users who are not kind of technologically savvy. Just generic user. I hope that this will take off and normal users should start using it. So starting from buying experience, I purchased through the website. Of course, that's the way you buy. And it was pretty straightforward. Initially, I was a bit confused because I'm in Australia, I'm in Melbourne. I was not sure that if it is supported even, because in the opposite side of the car, you see it, and the driving is on the left side of the road, right? So I couldn't find any documentation that whether it is supported or not on the comma website or anywhere. So I reached out to, I think on the Facebook, there's a group I kind of posted, and somebody responded that he is in Australia and he does use this one and work for him. So I got kind of encouraged by that statement, and I placed the order. So during the order placement, it shipped straight to Melbourne, which is great. But it doesn't say that will be a tax requirement, and which is pretty huge, like $450 tax. I kind of got surprised. So maybe during the purchase, there could have been some kind of link saying that, there may be a tax, and maybe, I don't know, they probably would not find out the rate, but some information heads up that there is a tax, and we can research and find out how much it will be. That would be a good help for the users when they purchase it. However, once you purchase, I'm excited to connect to my car. My car is Volkswagen Tiguan with adaptive cruise control and lane assistance. That's driver's assistance package, 2020. So that's the model that's supported. Then I try to connect to the car, but I'm not a car expert. So it's if you go to the comma.ai for the setup, it shows pretty straightforward. Just open the box and connect to the USB because for the power supply, and from there there's a cable runs to your car port. That's it. But it wasn't, even if it's hard to open that box. So I hired somebody, and he's did an amazing job, James. So if you need his number, let me know. I will provide. He's based in Melbourne. He did it, and he did perfect. So it took him an hour today. He's a dashcam person. He opens and closes this thing probably every day. So what I'm saying, and I have some video of him, it's not a job of amateur, that I can say. Especially for, I don't know about other cars, but for Volkswagen, it is not. Volkswagen Tiguan, especially, I don't know the other ones. So as soon as I start, I get an error message saying that dash cam mode, unrecognized car. So I'll just share the screen. I have a screenshot of that. So that probably will be helpful. So here's a screenshot. So dash cam mode, car unrecognized. So I searched some Google instantly, and I find there's some fingerprinting thing you need to do. I didn't understand what to do. So once I came home, I tried to reset. There is an option you can reset the firmware and reinstall from openpilot.comma.ai. That's the procedure you run during the installation phase also. So that part probably I skipped. Like after you get it, you have to run that process of installation. And it's pretty straightforward. There's also a YouTube video, you can check it out. But then something happened which kind of crashed the entire system, and I went to a mode, I'd say is a registering device. Then it's serial number, IEMI number, and that's it. It's a black screen sitting there. And I thought it'll take time and come back up. It didn't. And then I got kind of not sure what to do. I reached out to comma support. And initially, I think I found somewhere that I have to join Discord. Again, if you're using comma, you should join Discord, and they have a channel for openpilot and the comma, and now I know this is lifesaver. This will help you a lot to get the support. So I emailed them saying that, hey, sorry, there's the error message I'm getting. What should I do? So I will just share the screen to show you that error. So here is the error message. You can see it says registering device serial, and there's no way to manipulate or change any settings here. It's just there. So luckily, I could find out it is still connected to the network because I went to my home router and found out there's an IP address that's, I think it's TICI ticket, and I could ping that when it is connected. So I know it is alive and you can go there. So as soon as I'm sorry, I emailed and waited, I think for 2-3 days. There was a weekend, and after the weekend, I got a response. Then with the kind of initially they said you have to return, which is not an option, because if I return again the tax, again this, and I don't know if it will work or not. So I said I'm not going to do that. So then they said they have a software code. They can by software they can fix it, and I got a command line that shows the 2 commands that, this is what you do. It's about the public key, resetting public key. SSH into the box and do that. Now, I would, again, I would probably suggest the comma.ai support. A bit more information, kind of template would be useful, right? So how do you SSH? What is the documentation you have? If you have a video, that's perfect. If not, just documentation would be helpful, rather than asking, figure it out. So I figured it out. I come from technology background, so I went to the Discord and talked to people. I don't have the key and I don't have the password. So what is the key? What is the password? What is the port number? Then one of the guy from Discord channel, he helped me. Let me just show that his email and this one. So this was the response from comma support that thanks for, by the way, access into the device and run this command. If you can't figure it out, then only option to send it back, which is not an option because they'll cost them that $1,000. So that I'm not going to do that. So now I have to figure it out. As I was suggesting that if you could just add few lines here that how to do that, maybe reference to the documentation would be helpful, or maybe a YouTube video. So how to do a comma.ai. So that Discord channel, they gave me this link, which is really very helpful. There are few ways. Of course, those who do come from Linux background or Cisco or networking background, put party SSH, and next one is OpenSSH. That's Windows. You can use PowerShell. This one I didn't try. I don't have a Mac. I use Windows. So party is not an option here because here it says that maybe this procedure will not work for me, because it says here that go to the settings icon on SSH key, add your GitHub username. So you'll have to have a GitHub user. I have a GitHub user username, but you cannot do anything on that device, right? It's a black screen there. So that's not an option. So he sent me a few commands, which is you don't have to go. You have to download that comma, open the key on your device, and then you can use it a public key, a private key, and then you can connect to that. So I would show you that this is the link provided. That's the key actually down, and he provided the for using the PowerShell. These are commands he provided. It pretty much, this link will take you to that key, wget that key, and as output file ID RSA. Once you have that, then you can SSH command on this one. It is not straightforward. It looks like pretty straightforward right now, but there are a lot of error messages, Windows, right? So it came up with the error, and it says it's not installed, and I try to install. This one shows that command would show that if it install or not. It is showing install, but when you run the command, it says it's not there. So that was a nightmare. I spent probably 2 hours to figure it out, how to fix that. So after fixing that, then it was straightforward. This command and remount persist and then open SSL is done. Rebooted it back up, fine. And then again, I was kind of excited, went back, connected, the dashcam motor again came back up. Now I know it's not a big you can do it pretty easily if you have some Linux background and if you know how to RSS, SSH and use VI, or you can export the one of the files here. So I will cover this part. This one actually the help came from the Discord. There's no response from the comma support at all. So this is, I know probably now I understand this one, it's easier, but for a new person, and you would expect the new users will use who doesn't have too much technical background, a bit support, a bit video, maybe remote support, I don't know, means maybe Zoom or WebEx, something like that would be quickly, it should be able to fix. So then I checked this website, which is comma fingerprinting. So let's go here. Fingerprinting a car. So the documentation could look pretty intimidating, but it is not. Like it's the steps are very simple. I think this goes into the older version maybe. So what you have to do is go into that. Okay, it suggests you go to the Discord channel and record a drive. You have to drive around, even it is kind of dashcam error, and then come back, log into this one, and then here you find out your ID, dongle ID, and then a route, and select the latest route, and then it goes segment, select the latest segment, and here it is just pretty much saying that carparam, you need to find out, all you have to do is the firmware version. That's all it needs. And you have to insert this information into a file in the comma.ai. This is the file, value.py. It would be car, and my car was Volkswagen, so it's Volkswagen. And in the file, you'll find an entry for the Volkswagen or whatever car you're driving. And then this kind of statement. Don't worry about convert to this one, it's already there. Means hopefully your car is already supported. And this is also done. Just find out the firmware and insert your firmware in the list, in the beginning of the list. It should look like something like this is already there. Only thing you'll have to insert one line here for each one of them. So each one of them means, I'll show you what I mean by each one of them. So here is my admin portal, the one I got from that document, GitHub document. Just click on that. Oops, sorry. I think I stopped the sharing. Let's go back. Here, okay. So that's the admin for the user. And you click on the dongle ID. You see the route name, the latest one, the segment. And then all you have to do here is the firmware, carparam, that's in the document. And you find out the firmware version. That's all you need. Transmission, engine, forward rudder, EPS, and SRS. All of them. You need all of them, all those firmware. And these are different. These are not same. And then once you get this firmware, put it onto some document. There's two parts. One is you put it into your comma. Another one is send a pull request. Pull request is something they will incorporate into the future release. Otherwise, you'll have to do it again, or you have a backup, probably you can restore from there. So I have requested them for the pull request in your Discord. Hopefully that'll be done. Now let's go back to your SSH shell, and this time let's show how to do the PuTTY. Because now I have GitHub, and I can do those settings on the your comma3 portal. Sorry, on the screen. Let's stop. So back to the screen, SSH into comma2, and use selected PuTTY. Download, install, then a key. You create a key and put it on the GitHub account. and you save that key in your computer as a private key. So the way you do that, I probably have this one running somewhere here. Yeah, regen. So you can just generate, download from party website, this one, generate, and then once you do that, you'll have to just move your cursor here and there, and it will generate the key for you. And then copy this one. One error I found, it says that it is too new version. So you can probably select the key and select PPK file version 2 instead of 3. And then save. And save it as something like this, IDRSF PPK. Once you copy this one, then you'll have to go into the GitHub and then add a new key, name whatever, and then just paste that thing here. Sorry, paste that key here. I didn't probably save this one. Yeah. And yep, so that's done. So I have my one already here. So let's go back. And it's saved as a PPK file in my computer. So then next step is, so I kind of have this one saved, comma at IP address. On the older version is root at IP address. So I think it's written in the document, just be careful to watch it. So I think it is here. Let me show you. The screenshot is 8022, but the port number actual in the new device is 22, and it's comma, not root. So that's the difference. And here is the SSH key authentication, SSH authentication, and it browses to your PPK file. That's it, and then you're in. And I think I have a session running. Let me just bring that. Yeah. Okay, here's the one. So if you see that document, which kind of not this one, right? Okay. Okay, let me just find out that document I'm referring to, GitHub. So I kind of saved it in this document, so next time I need, I can use it. All right, here it is. So now this is the file they're talking about, self-drive car, in this case, my case Volkswagen, and the value key. So if I go here, cd, self-drive car, Volkswagen. All right. Now, before you do that, it's the best idea. Okay, ls. So you can see there is a value.python file is here. So have a backup, maybe cp value pi to something like, you can do it here, or you can do other folder, value, sorry, values.py.org or something like that. So it is saved. So in case it's kind of some mistake, you can copy it back. So I did it in another folder in case something goes wrong. So, and then you have to use the VI. So I'm not going to go through the VI tutorial. VI can be a bit daunting. There are commands like insert, those who are not coming from Linux background. Go through a VI command lines and you should be able to figure out. That's one option. Other one is you can copy this value file, SSH, WinSCP or something out of the box, edit it and put it back again. So for now, I'll just show the edited version of this value.py. It's a pretty big file. So all I'm trying to show that I have inserted those, not this one, not this one, this firmware version into that file. That's all. So first, if you go on the top, it's interesting file. you can see that your car should be there on the list. And there's some description, you can read that. Tiguan MK, my one is here. So that's my car. And then there is a portion just for that car. It is Golf. Then it comes Tiguan here, right? So this is my number. So if you see there is engine, transmission, SRS, EPS, and forward, and it have to be the way they are. It has to be in sequence, like so, and each one is different. So let me just make it maybe a bit small, and you can see. So first one was here is the car, my car, Tiguan, and the engine. So you can see the engine firmware version. It's ending 899504, 8995, that's my one. Next one is transmission. But you have to go here, what it is. Transmission is 895202, 895202, and likewise, that's all. Once you do that, you save it, you reboot, the problem resolved. But it may not be very simple for a non-tech, so I would probably recommend to have some. There was, by the way, must mention there was a YouTube video which was very helpful. I forgot the name, but it doesn't comma2 though. There are some additional steps you need to do. You have to connect to the your car and start and get the fingerprints, and those things I didn't have to, and there's an option to do that, to be honest, and it worked for me. That's fingerprinting. Once it is done, then all good. I drove around. In terms of, I'll record those things, but the freeway driving was excellent. There's nothing, you don't have to touch it. Even you practice left and right moving sometime, which is great. Only thing, once it gets to say you set speed to 60, but once there's a curvy road or there's a roundabout, it doesn't slow down the speed. So you have to manually do that. So maybe, I don't know, there is an option to sense the curvature or the angle and then reduce the speed. Roundabout, I don't know how they're going to do that, because you have to make sure that the right side is clear. In Australia, there are lots of roundabouts. It's unlike America. Here, probably every few miles, there is some roundabout. So that was challenging, because sometimes I was reducing the speed and then hoping that it will kind of follow the track, but it kind of went out of the line. The amazing thing was, in the traffic, it stopped behind the forward car, which was pretty intense. And then once that's moving, the forward car was slowly moving, and it is also slowly following. That was perfect. Excellent. I will have more videos, and if you want to see something, let me know. I'm in Australia, Melbourne. Anyone in Melbourne, Australia, we can connect and we can share our experience. That'd be great. Thank you so much for watching.